Hello. We're a few minutes after 12 because I had to wait till I got good cell phone coverage. But here we are. This is actually my first live show in the car. But don't worry. Oops, I can't show you until I turn my camera around. My husband is driving, so we're okay. We're safe. We are in, where are we? Southwest Oregon. You can see Dylan back there in the back seat. The three of us are driving to Sacramento, California. My camera might be bouncing here on the road. There goes a motorcycle. There goes another motorcycle. But we're driving to the National Down Syndrome Congress's conference in Sacramento. So I'm super psyched about that. We'll be able to go to some great sessions on Friday and Saturday, and also on Sunday I'm doing a workshop called Your IEP Road Trip Starts Here. So one of the things I thought would be fun is, while we're live on the video, in between the motorcycle noises, if you could type in the comments some words that describe recent IEP meetings that you've gone to. Because when we're doing the workshop, I'm going to be asking for parents to talk about some previous IEP meetings that they've gone to. And when we start our IEP road trip, we'll be talking about how to make it a smoother ride so it's not so bumpy. And you might want to have your GPS on too, right, to help give you directions. So type in the comments some adjectives that describe a recent IEP meeting that you've gone to. When I'm at the conference, I'm hoping that I get a chance to do some impromptu interviews with other parents, with self-advocates, and some of the speakers at the conference. So be tuned in to my Facebook page, Visions and Voices Together, because you never know when I'll pop up with an impromptu video. And the other thing that I've been busy doing is welcoming people to our IEP scavenger hunt, our free 5-day challenge that starts July 31st. However, we've already had some parents get a kickstart to that, and they've joined the challenge. They've joined in our private Facebook group called IEP Scavenger Hunt, and they're starting to get to know each other. It's fun. We're seeing pictures of kids and parents together. We are also getting specific questions that I'm answering for parents. So I encourage you to join our IEP scavenger hunt. If you look on my Visions and Voices page from my video from yesterday, you'll see the link where you can sign up for it. So I thought I would just talk about one of the questions that I've been answering, and it was a mom that wrote in about her daughter that is going into 2nd grade. However, she's had pretty much the same math goals for the last several years, and she wondered about that. So if you're in the IEP Scavenger Hunt private Facebook group, you can go in there and see some of my suggestions. But basically, when I see an IEP and the IEP goals are very similar to what the child's had for a couple years, to me that's a red flag. So I want the IEP team to have a discussion about that. Now, the excuse that parents often hear is, well, your child's just not being consistent with showing us that they know these skills. Well, that's not thorough enough of a conclusion for me. So what I would encourage parents and IEP teams to do is really look at what are the instructional strategies that teachers are currently using to help your child reach that goal. And if they're not being successful, one of the reasons might be to change the instructional strategies. So for this mom, her daughter is going into 2nd grade. She happens to have Down syndrome, and one of the suggestions that I had for her is to make sure that they're using some kind of a visual math program that incorporates a lot of manipulatives. A lot of kids with Down syndrome are more visual learners. So one of the math programs that my son Dylan used in elementary school was called Addition the Fun Way. And it's a really neat math program. It's based on these stories. Each numeral is a character. The students learn stories, like 3B is in the 5 car and they drive through the 8 gate. And so then they remember 3 plus 5 equals 8. So you might want to check out Addition the Fun Way. It's published by City Creek Press, and I'll put in the link for that later. And Christine's on with us. Yay, Christine. She says, I agree about the visual prompts. My kids need that as well. Yep, lots of students. You know, we do so much auditory stuff and kind of lecturing and talking, and we've got to incorporate those visuals. So as far as math programs, besides Addition the Fun Way, I know a lot of parents have had success with their kids if they use the Numicon program. So you could look up Numicon, and Touch Math is an oldie but a goodie. A lot of students can use that simple way of putting dots on the numbers, counting them, and doing a lot of different math problems using Touch Math. The other point that the mom brought up in our private Facebook group called IEP Scavenger Hunt was wanting her child to be able to be in the 2nd grade class, even though the students might be, you know, most of them working on higher level math skills, and how her daughter can be successfully included. So again, I've been in that private Facebook group typing in some suggestions, and one of mine is for the IEP team, again, to look at how many, you know, ways just in the natural school environments can your child work on their IEP goals. So even though your child might have an IEP math goal, that doesn't mean that math time is the only time that they can work on those concepts. So for a 2nd grader, I thought one of the things that they might be able to do is in the morning, most schools need a count of how many kids are having hot lunch for the day. So instead of the student or the teacher doing that job, a student could be assigned that. They have to count how many kids raise their hand for eating hot lunch that day. They write the numeral on a piece of paper and take that note up to the office. So they see a real reason why we need math, and that it's not just, you know, at math time that we do these paper pencil kinds of math tasks. So there's a lot of ways that you can incorporate their IEP goals. Another idea is when the teacher needs to pass out papers to everyone or different materials, instead of the teacher doing that, have the student have that as a job. And that's a great way for kids to understand the concept of one-to-one correspondence, that each person gets one of these, or whatever the material is that they need to pass out. So if you have ideas of how kids can learn goals in natural settings and more than just the math class during the day, that would be awesome for you to share your ideas in the comments. To me, the real purpose of having these live shows is to have more discussion and conversation. So even though I'll be giving you ideas from my teaching experience, from my parenting experience with Dylan, you guys out there have so many cool ideas that the more you can share them by typing them into the posts, then the more we all learn. And that's really what we're here for, is to help support each other and learn with each other. So I don't see any other comments now, but if you have enjoyed this, if you're getting some benefit out of it, you can consider sharing it on your own Facebook page, or if you have a Facebook group. The other little tidbit that I wanted to talk about today on our road trip here is our IEP scavenger hunt. I mentioned at the beginning of our video that's going to start on Monday, July 31st. But the cool thing is you can jump in and join now and get the conversation going over in our private Facebook group. And I'm taking the time to answer specific questions from parents, and that's what I do as an advocate, right? I help support parents, answer questions, brainstorm ideas, bounce ideas off of each other, and that's the fun part of my job. So I'm looking forward to you joining. I will put the link in this video, but you can also watch the video I did yesterday, because it explains a lot of details about our scavenger hunt and the fun kinds of things that we'll be doing. So just look for that. It's the video that's posted at the top of my page, Visions and Voices Together. And Christine says, this has the visual, oh good, she put a link in here. This has the visual stories from multiplying facts. All right. So cool. Thanks for taking the time, Christine, to find that link and posting it. I just love when other people are on here and give us more ideas. So how cool is that? Well, we're going to continue our merry drive. Let me show you a little bit of the scenery here. If I switch. Up with you. I know I've got some friends from Colorado, from Oregon, from Idaho, and other states that are going to be there. So we're looking forward to that connection. So until you see my impromptu conference videos, you guys take care and keep on keeping on for your child. Bye.